Welcome to Property Investing with Abi. On today's episode, we are talking about the big elephant in the room, women in property. Historically, property has been a man's game. So if you're a woman trying to get into property, what do you need to know? And today with me, I have Mel Kroger from Fenwood Estates, who is a developer. We're just gonna have a chat today about women in property and to give you the best hints, tips, how you can get started in property. So Mel, tell me how on earth you got started in property.
After college, where I studied, I sort of did psychology, sociology and those sorts of subjects at college, which led me on to doing criminology at Nottingham Trent University.
Wow!
So I left college, went to Nottingham Trent and started a course. A few months in, I realised actually that the course wasn't for me. It wasn't what I thought. It was very history of crime, and I think I thought I was going to be some big detective or something. And anyway, long and short, I rang my parents and said, this isn't working out, I'm coming home. So my dad, who was running this company, Fenwood Estates at the time, said to me, well, if you think you're sort of coming back and not doing anything until you think of what to do next September when uni starts, you can come to the office with me on Monday. And the dread on my face must have been so clear, because I'm like, building, property, no way, absolutely just not for me at all. But I went in on the Monday and I sort of came in as a junior. My brother worked there as a quantity surveyor, so he was there as well. And I kind of over a few weeks I was getting paid weekly, and I thought, this is all right, they've got some cash. I was interested in what they were doing. I'm going out on site and all this sort of stuff. So I started looking into courses at different universities based on property, construction, architecture, anything that was related to the game. And then I came across a course at Hallam University where it covered a whole load of bases. And so my father said, well, the company will support you if you want to go to the university on a day release.
Oh, wow.
So I started the following September. I applied and I enrolled on a 5-year course at Hallam. After the 5 years, I've carried on in the company, negotiating on sites, which is difficult being a younger girl in property at the time and being up against landowners, again, mainly sort of men really, sitting down with older experienced people and trying to negotiate to buy the sites. But I loved it. And I've sort of gone from there. I've worked in every element of the company and I've worked my way up to 22 years later. My dad's now retired and I'm MD of the company, so it's all mine to take forward.
So Mel, you basically own your own development company, don't you? Where you're buying land, building houses.
Yep.
What does that mean for you and your family?
Over time, obviously, as the company's expanded, it's given me, and I've moved into the MD position. I've got a team below me now. So it's given me quite a lot of flexibility in terms of lifestyle. So I have a 16-year-old daughter who I like to spend time with. She horse rides and such like.
Do you think your daughter will come and join you in the business?
My daughter's quite artistic and she's interested in the interior design side, funnily enough. She loves her horses, so I think she's going horsey college.
Yeah.
However, the most recent showroom that we're doing at our next site, I've got all the mood boards for that that have come in and that I usually scrutinise and work with the designers. I've brought her into the office to have a look at them, had her comments and then sent those back to the designers. So it brought her in, she loved it. So she's got another, if the horsey wool maybe doesn't work out or she wants to do a bit of both, she's more than welcome to come in on that side. I don't think she's into the construction side particularly.
No. What do you think has been the biggest challenge for you being a woman in this developer's world?
I am in a male-dominated environment. It doesn't frighten me though. I quite like getting in with the guys and getting down with the spade's a spade with the guys. So I kind of like to fit in with that.
Yeah.
It can be quite intimidating when you start looking at funding requirements and funding developments and funding your company or whatever you're doing. A lot of that world is also male dominated, so you find yourselves pitching for funding in front of men. At one point I'm only a young girl out there and pitching, but throw yourself out that comfort zone and you'll be amazed what it actually has a lot of positives, because the guys see you and think, well, this girl's got it, she knows what she's doing, she's confident, want to invest in her. So actually taking it that way. It's difficult, but just push on. And
What's been your favourite site you've ever developed?
we've got an award-winning site actually down in the Mexborough area by the canal in Mexborough. We couldn't get it off the ground for many years. It didn't stack up financially, lots of abnormal costs with it and challenges with it being by the water for physically developing it. But we managed to work with Homes England and Sheffield City Region to get some grant funding and some cost-effective development funding. We were actually handing over in COVID, so lots of challenges, and then it was put forward for an award, and it's beautiful down on that site. A lot of people mention that site to me when they look at Fenwood, and my dad owned it when I was a little girl. And it sort of rented units out on it. So taking it from that, it got stuck for ages in planning. Then all sorts happened, it just got stuck. So now to see it from being a little girl going and collecting rents with my dad for the units that were on it, and now I've built it out, just mega. So yeah, super proud of that one.
What's been the biggest thing that's gone wrong, like disaster?
I mean, every site has different, there's always something on a site. It's usually you always have a site investigation on as part of your planning process, which does trial pits across the site to establish the strata of the land and anything that could be abnormal within the lay of the land. You can very quickly get on a site and start developing or digging out the foundations and find a well or coal seam, or I mean, a lot of these things do get flagged up on reports early on, but things do get not missed by anybody's fault, but because of where the trial pits are done, and you find something like that, everything can grind to a halt until you can overcome it. So you're back through the motions of getting everything re-signed off. But the funding side as well, I would say if people are out there and looking for funders, to look for funders that are out there and respected in the marketplace, that have got a good track record, because otherwise if you don't link up with the correct funder, you may find yourselves on a site where things could get tricky. And I know a lot of developers that have been in that situation, as of ourselves over the years. So that's one to watch. So those things I think are probably the worst thing that could happen on a site.
So for all of the beautiful females sat out there watching us, what would be your number one tip you'd give them?
I would say go for it, follow your heart. Don't be afraid to come into what everybody still feels is a male-dominated world. It is, but there's a lot of women filtering through in every trade. We've got my commercial manager is a lady. Our warranty provider who comes and inspects the site is a lady. We've got a lady bricklayer about to start. Just go for it, just absolutely go for it, and join me on the construction train.
If anyone wants to find out more about you, Mel, where can they find it?
So the best way is to come through the website, fenwood.com. Give us a shout, there's plenty of ways to get hold of me through there. So yeah, by all means.
So that's it on today's episode of Property Investing with Abi. We've been talking about women in property, and you heard it from Mel herself. Get started, don't let it stop you, that it's seen as a male-dominated world. Us women, we can get together and we can absolutely smash the property world.